If your smart order router assumes the current limit order book state will exist by the time your packet arrives, you are already dead in the market. In the microsecond gap between decision and execution, liquidity vanishes. And predatory latency arbitrageurs leave your algorithms with severe adverse selection. To survive the algorithmic trenches, we cannot simply react to the present. We must probabilistically model the immediate future using Markov chains. Let us define the limit order book as a discrete time stochastic process. We denote the state of the book at time t as S subscript t. This state vector captures critical variables like bid-ask spread and volume imbalance. The foundational assumption here is the Markov property. The probability of transitioning to a future state depends entirely on the current state, completely ignoring the sequence of historical events that preceded it. Mathematically, we map this dynamics using a transition probability matrix, P. Each element in this matrix represents the exact probability of shifting from state I to state j. With this, we can predict whether the book will replenish or collapse before our order lands. On paper, predicting expected execution costs with stationary probabilities looks flawless. But here is the fatal mathematical flaw when you deploy this baseline model in live markets. Real-world limit order books are violently non-stationary. High-frequency quoting noise shifts these transition probabilities in a matter of nanoseconds. Relying on a static matrix will route your alpha straight into a toxic dark pool. To fix this, we must build dynamic transition estimators. Let's engineer the solution. At the end of our previous module, we exposed the fatal flaw of using static Markov matrices. HFT noise causes transition probabilities to violently shift, rendering static models obsolete. To survive, we must transition from a static matrix to a continuous online estimator. We achieve this by updating our probability matrix dynamically using an exponential decay factor. Let us examine the C++ implementation for a low-latency rolling transition matrix. Whenever a state shifts from I to j, we decay the entire row I by 1 minus alpha. Then, we add our learning rate alpha exclusively to the target state j. By applying this exponential moving average, recent state transitions are weighted heavily, allowing the matrix to adapt to market regime shifts in real time. With our dynamic updater in place, we must rigorously define the state space of the limit order book. We cannot feed raw, continuous LOB data directly into a discrete Markov chain. We must compress the continuous microstructure into a finite state vector, S subscript t. Typically, this vector includes the bid-ask spread, the volume imbalance, and Q depletion rates. By discretizing these continuous variables into predefined bins, we map the infinite market into a finite grid. For example, continuous volume imbalance is mapped strictly to heavy bid, neutral, or heavy ask bins. This state space definition allows our C++ engine to instantly fetch the correct transition vector. On paper, this perfectly models the immediate future of the microprice. But when you deploy this multivariable state space to a live matching engine, a new catastrophe strikes. The curse of dimensionality. If you track just 5 variables with 10 discrete bins each, your state space explodes. You instantly have 100,000 states, generating a matrix of 10 billion elements. Updating a 10 billion element matrix in memory destroys your microsecond latency budget, guaranteeing Q loss. To route effectively, we must mathematically compress this matrix. Let's engineer it. We concluded our last session paralyzed by the curse of dimensionality. A 10 billion element transition matrix is computationally lethal for any matching engine. To resolve this microsecond bottleneck, we must dismantle the joint probability space. We achieve this mathematically through conditional independence factorization. Instead of updating one massive, monolithic transition matrix, we assume that the microdynamics of the spread, imbalance, and Q depletion are conditionally independent. Mathematically, the probability of the next joint state becomes the product of individual feature transition probabilities. This factorization reduces our computational complexity radically. We drop from exponential growth to a linear summation of small, manageable submatrices. Let us implement this mathematical factorization into a hardware-friendly C++ architecture. By executing vector-based updates exclusively on independent feature arrays, we map these precise transitions directly into the CPU's L1 cache. Our algorithmic router can now predict the expected cost of execution in less than 500 nanoseconds. We have successfully beaten the latency bottleneck. Our math is fast, and our code is highly optimized. But when you deploy this factorized matrix into a live market, a new structural catastrophe occurs. The entire architecture collapses when an institutional algorithm executes an iceberg order. The foundational Markov property strictly assumes the future depends only on the present state. But iceberg orders create hidden, toxic sequence memory. The sequence of past aggressive fills drastically shifts the future probabilities. Because your pure Markov model is blind to this historical excitation, it gets severely front-run. To survive this predatory sequence flow, we must abandon simple chains and build Hawk's processes. Let's engineer it. In the previous module, we witnessed how iceberg orders and sequence memory shatter the standard Markov property. To capture this hidden historical excitation, we must upgrade our architecture to use Hawk's processes. A Hawk's process is a self-exciting point process where each historical trade increases the probability of future trades. Mathematically, the intensity of order arrivals, lambda of t, is defined by a baseline rate mu, plus a sum of exponentially decaying kernels from all past events. This kernel is governed by alpha, representing the immediate shock to the market, and beta, which controls the speed of the alpha decay over time. If beta is high, the informational edge, or short-term alpha, vanishes in milliseconds. Let us write the C++ logic to compute this dynamic intensity in real time. By maintaining a rolling sum of decayed excitations, we completely avoid iterating over historical arrays. We update the intensity at every tick, adjusting our routing urgency based on the residual alpha. Our mathematics now perfectly capture the self-exciting nature of institutional order flow. But when we deploy this advanced Hawk's router into a live matching engine, a physical barrier destroys our edge. The queue position bottleneck. Our model dictates we must act instantly to capture the decaying alpha. However, if we route a passive limit order to avoid paying the spread, we are placed at the very back of the FIFO queue. By the time the massive queue ahead of us depletes, the beta decay has already erased our informational advantage. Knowing the short-term alpha is mathematically useless if your queue position guarantees you will miss the execution window. To survive, we must model limit order queue dynamics alongside our alpha decay. Let's engineer the queue. At the close of our last module, we proved that knowing the short-term alpha is useless if you are stuck in a queue. As the FIFO queue ahead of you depletes, your Hawk's alpha decays to zero, erasing your edge. To resolve this, our predictive routing logic must dynamically calculate the optimal execution path. We must choose between passively capturing the spread or aggressively crossing it. We evaluate this mathematically using the expected value of execution. The expected value of a passive limit order relies heavily on the probability of getting filled before alpha decays. Conversely, the expected value of an aggressive market order guarantees execution, but forces you to pay the spread cost instantly. Let us engineer this predictive routing logic into a high-performance Python architecture. Our algorithm ingests the current queue length, order arrival intensity, and our residual alpha. If the calculated probability of a passive fill drops below our threshold, the router immediately flips. It abandons the limit order and fires an aggressive marketable order to lock in the alpha. Our system now flawlessly balances time risk against structural market costs. But when you deploy this aggressive logic into the wild, a devastating new reality shatters your execution. Phantom liquidity and order book spoofing. Your Python logic decides to aggressively cross the spread because it sees 50 lots resting at the best ask. But those 50 lots belong to a predatory high-frequency market maker. In the exact microsecond your aggressive packet travels through the fiber, the maker cancels the liquidity. Your order hits empty air, plunging through 5 levels of the book and incurring massive slippage. Predicting the state is suicidal if the state itself is a weaponized illusion. Let's engineer a defense against spoofing. In the previous module, our expected value logic was destroyed by phantom liquidity. Predatory algorithms spoof the book, creating optical illusions of volume that vanish upon execution. To defend against spoofing, we cannot trust raw visible volume. We must calculate the probability of reality. We introduce an order cancellation intensity metric into our state space. Mathematically, the probability that liquidity is real is a ratio of trade rates to cancellation rates. If the rate of cancels exponentially dominates the rate of actual trades, the liquidity is toxic. Let us write the C++ logic to adjust our expected value with this reality factor. We discount the visible volume by multiplying it with our calculated probability. Our algorithm now ignores massive, flashing spoof orders and only routes toward structural liquidity. We have successfully engineered a robust, predictive routing architecture using Markov chains and Hawk's processes. However, we must acknowledge the absolute limit of probabilistic forecasting. No matter how advanced your microstructure math is, it is inherently blind to macro-regime shifts. When a central bank unexpectedly hikes interest rates, historical transition matrices become completely irrelevant. The entire limit order book empties out, and your micromodels will confidently route into a crash. To conquer the market, your micro-execution must be guided by macro-intelligence. Thank you for joining this masterclass. If you want to survive in the algorithmic trenches, subscribe to the Omnicast network. Like this video, and stay rigorous.